Okay, so, funny story. So, when I took the truck apart, okay, when I bought the truck, the 2000 model, you know, that all the drivetrain came from, it didn't have like a uber excessive amount of miles on it. It was like, I don't know, a little over 100,000 miles, not too bad. When I took the front end apart, you know, all the bearings and everything were good. Everything was in good shape for the most part. So while I had it apart before, obviously after all the modifications got done to the front end, everything ready to go, obviously I cleaned everything real good and put a coat of paint on it. Now this is my front wheel bearing right here. This wheel bearing was in perfect condition, really. There wasn't a damn thing wrong with it. You've got where your ABS or wheel speed sensor goes in right here. Took that guy off when I took it outside to clean it up. Now, I clean up the parts the same way. I've always cleaned every part my entire life, which is generally if they got a lot of crap on them, I hit them with some real heavy degreaser, let them soak for a few minutes, and then come back with a pressure washer or a steam cleaner and, you know, blow all the crap off of them, scrub them real good with a wire brush or whatever I need to. Sit them out in the sun, let them dry good, and then, you know, when they're good and dry, put some spray paint on them and on to reassembly we go. Never had a problem with that, 43 years old. Never once had a problem with that. Well, I have a water softener at my house. It's a salt softener. I did not think about this when I was cleaning this, because if you get water right in through here, whatever little bit you get in there will get to your wheel bearings. It's never been a problem in the past because very little water gets in there, and whatever, it just kind of dries out. It's not a big deal. Well, when you have a salt softener, obviously the salt content is extremely high in your water. So I got done with these, set them in the floor. They sat over here in the floor for, I don't know, at least 2 weeks before I painted them. Then I went, they didn't rust on the outside or anything. They're still, I mean, pretty much good to go. Maybe it wasn't 2 weeks. No, it was about a week before I painted them. And then they sat over here on the floor for another, I don't know, 2 weeks, I guess. Just waiting for me to get back around to it. Well, then when I got ready to start the reassembly of them, I pick it up and I go to kind of spin it, just being cute, and my wheel bearings were rusted up solid because that salt content in my water caused those wheel bearings to rust to pieces. I was able to get one of them broke loose kind of with like a pair of pliers and got it spinning, and it spun okay. It would have probably been all right if I stuck it in. This one right here, I had to put in a vise and get a big old pry bar to get it broke loose. It would spin, but it sounded like it had gravel in it. So obviously they were both damaged, and I'm at the point where I want to put this thing together for the last time when I put it together. That's always the plan, right? So you obviously don't want to put bearings in that you know are not in good shape. That's just dumb. I had to pay what we call around my house stupid tax. I did something dumb, had to pay stupid tax to the tune of $280 per wheel bearing. That's right, it cost me over $500 to wash these and paint them black. Boy, do I wish I would have just painted the damn things. So, now, we got these. Ah, yes. Brand new, shiny and new, operate nice and smooth. Already painted them black. Guess what I didn't do? Yep, did not clean them with the hose. Wiped them off a little bit of Prep-Sol, squirted a little black spray paint on them. They are good to go. Now they did come with new wires for the sensor. That was kind of nice. Kind of excited about that because the other ones were kind of dingy looking. So basically I've got to put these 4 studs in it, and then they will be ready to go on. Then we can start installing our brakes and all that type of stuff. So pretty excited about all that. So that is my stupid tax story of the day. So now I'm going to go on and I'm going to get these 4 studs, put in both front wheel bearings, because I did go ahead and buy both of them because I'm just not going to take a chance on putting this thing together. Just have to take it right back apart. That's way too many lug nuts and everything to get that stupid adapter off of there when I can just eat it right now and be done with it. So we'll put the studs on it, and then we'll come back when it's time to start some reassembly work here to start making a whole front end out of this. I'm excited. So finally, we get to the point where we're ready to kind of finish building this axle. Now, I've had to come to the realization that I've added quite a bit of weight with the arms, the bags, the bag mounts, all the steel that I've added to the axle. All the link arms and stuff that go on it is all going to be heavier. So I'm not sure. I don't feel good about completely building the axle all the way up with it all the way up on the lift, because there's nothing on the back of this truck and it's pretty heavy already. It's a little bit front heavy. I can't get my lift arms any further forward. So I'm not going to get to build it all the way, but I'm going to build it kind of as far as I can before I let it down a little closer to the ground, where, you know, if it does try to teeter, it's not a big deal. I can throw a jack stand or something under it. Like even now while I mess with it, I've got a pole jack under it just to keep it from trying to teeter a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the wheel bearing on it. We got a brake dust cover that's got to go on it. Then we'll put the rotors on it, and we'll go ahead and put the bracket for the caliper on it. Then kind of take a look at whether, try to figure out if I want to go ahead and put the caliper on it or not. Once I get the caliper on it, then it'll be time to go ahead and be able to I'm going to try to take a rough measurement some kind of way, I don't really know how yet, to determine if my wheels, if they're pretty straight on my tie rod here, before I put my steering arm on it, because that way I don't have to take it on and off 100 times. So we'll work out whether I'm going to put the caliper on it. If I put the calipers on it, then I can go ahead and kind of square up and put a rough adjustment on my tie rod. So then we can lock our tie rod down, can go ahead and put the drag link on it, and then at that point probably let it down and go ahead and put the adapters on it, put the wheels on it, be ready to set this thing down on its own 2 feet for the first time. And well, 2 feet, 4 feet I guess, because the back wheels, but for the first time it'll be sitting on the front end, should be sitting on the bump stops for the first time, and I was pretty excited. So let's get started getting some work done. Well, looks like at least I was smart enough to remember to take this special little bolt that holds the ABS wire right here and put it back in the knuckle. That way it did not get lost. Now, if I could only remember how it was on here, that would be super handy right about now. Aha. Never mind. I got it. Well, everybody hold your hand up at once. No, I gotta get it. There it goes. That actually went together quite smoothly. We'll fish that over there. I'll figure out just exactly how I want to loom the ABS wire here in a little bit. I'm not really too worried about it right now. Good grief, would you hang up in everything? Okay, there. That's out of the way. Huh. There we go. Hey, look at that. That actually spins and it doesn't feel like it has gravel inside it. It's a miracle. Okay, so now let's get our rotor and our hub. I almost forget. Hub goes on first. Okay, so real funny story. I just put the brake dust cover on wrong. It actually, I've got it where it's sticking out here. It's actually the wrong one, and the other one goes that way. It sticks more in here toward this bracket so that you can actually install the rotor, which is something that's very necessary for stopping. So gonna go ahead and take this back apart now and put it together the proper way. Yay! Alright, so we got our hub assembly all on. Now this adds a fair bit of weight, as you can imagine, between the wheel bearing and the rotor and this hub. I don't know what it weighs, but it's a fair little chunk, I'd say. So I think I'm probably going to, at the very least, I'm going to take all the adapters and put them on the back of the truck to kind of counter this weight just a little bit. I don't really have anything else heavy that I could stick back there easily, but those adapters are pretty heavy. They probably weigh near what this stuff weighs, so that should counter it enough. I'm gonna go ahead and throw all this stuff on the other side right quick, and then next up we'll be going and put our caliper bracket on, and our caliper and our brake pads. And then at some point I'm going to try to figure out some way that I can run some kind of piece of measuring tape across this hub right here to tell whether or not how straight my wheels are, you know, kind of do my little redneck alignment. So I'm gonna go build this other side, and then when we come back, we'll throw this calipers and stuff on. Be right back. All right, so check it out. So I got the other side all put together, looking just like this, actually. Now you'll see I did go ahead and put my tie rod on, and I've just got a standard nut right here right now because the nuts, the top block nuts that I ordered for it, they came in and they're wrong somehow. I don't really know how that happened, but whatever, they're wrong. Nonetheless, it's in there good enough. So what I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and do this little redneck alignment thing before I put my brakes and whatnot on, just because I want to go ahead and lock this in. I want to go ahead and put my drag link on, kind of lock up that area. So now, the way we're going to do that is, this is our wheel mount surface right here. This is where the adapter is going to go. This is where normally your wheel would go. So we know it's true and flat. So I'm going to take this guy, which is a piece of aluminum that I got out of my wood shop that I just use for making whatever kind of straight lines I feel like making. All right, and I'm going to put this along the face of this wheel mount surface, because I know that it's good and true flat. I know it'll hold in there right, and I'll be able to get on it with a tape measure. As long as it's holding nice and firm against this surface, I know that it's going to definitely tell me if the wheel is turned or not. So I'm going to go slap one on the other side right quick, and I'll show you how we're going to do this. All right, so you see we're clamped on here on each side. Now, like I said, this inside edge of this would represent where the face of my wheel would be. So you see I've got it kind of turned a little bit. I've got a clear line of sight to this on the other side, and then this on the back here. So what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to measure from here to the other side, and from here to the other side on the front and the back. And that will tell me if the wheel is turned in or out. Like if it's a shorter measurement on the front, then obviously the wheel is they're turned in toward the front, so I'll need to take a little out of it. So let's see what we got here. First measurement here looks like 81 1/8. Now you can go to the outside, it doesn't matter, outside or inside, as long as the two pieces are perfectly symmetrical, which these two are. So just because it's easier for me, that's how I'm doing it right now. Would be easier if I had a friend, but I don't have any of those that tend to stop by, so. Let's see here. Ah, catch. So over here we are at 79 3/4. All right, so what do we get from that? 79 3/4, 81 1/8 in the back. So that's going to be a difference of, what is that? 3/8 of an inch. So 3/8 of an inch. The fronts of our wheels, they're turned in like that. So so we're going to open that up. So really we're only going to need half of that, because if we move half of it, the back's going to go in half. So it's going to be about 3/16. So now the way we're going to do that is, all right, the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to twist this tie rod right here. I'm going to open it up. One full turn here, and then we'll see what we get. Now it doesn't matter if the wheels are turned or not, because the distance between the arms is still the same, even though I will still eyeball it just to try to, because it makes me feel better if I can see it. All right, so let's see. Now, obviously, once I get done with the truck, I will take it to a lineup shop and get a proper alignment done on it. But for argument's sake, this is what I'm going with. So now I'm at 81 1/8 to the front. I measured wrong the first time. Way to go, stupid. Okay, so where I screwed up is the first time I measured, on the back, I looked at the inside of it, I wanted the front because I could see it better. I did the outside of it, so I might have to try this one more again. And I do wish I could see the other side over there to make sure that it's hooking where I want it to be hooked. Whew! Finally. Well, that took forever, and I'm sure it's not dead on balls perfect, but it's pretty close for a redneck alignment. If I would have had somebody else down here with me, it would have been much faster and much easier to do, but it is what it is. It's done enough, so at this point now I can go on and try to kind of complete my balancing act of can I get the brakes put on here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to throw the drag link on next. Then we'll start looking into whether or not I'm going to be able to get the brakes on before I let it down or not. So let's get a drag link put on. Well, it appears that I have forgotten to drill this out, so I need to go get my drill bit and hog that dude out, fit this 3/4 inch bolt. Might see if I can sharpen this bit or find a different one. This is gonna be a problem. This is a real pain in the butt. When I drilled it with 5/8 drill bit, it drilled through like like butter, like it was nothing. Now, the other 3/4 inch drill bit that I had was kind of smoked. So I went and bought this one from TSC. Now it had been opened before, so I suspect somebody smoked it before already, but it was the only one they had, so it's cutting slowly but surely. I'm just having to go really slow with it and put a lot of oil on it, and I'm about halfway through right now. It's slow going. Okay, so I'm back. I'm also exhausted because that took forever with that dull ass drill bit to drill through that pitman arm. It ain't the most beautiful of holes, but I did get it drilled. Now, down the line, I will more than likely buy a new pitman arm, actually drill it on a drill press and get a nice straight through hole on it that's not wallered out a little bit, because that one probably is a little bit. But for now, I can put it together, and that is exciting. So I am going to put this drag link on now, and then we'll see if we can't go ahead and start getting this guy adjusted here a little bit. So turn this guy back to somewhat straight. I guess I'll just kind of eyeball it here. It's kind of all I can do, really. I mean, just get me a good look-see. Looks like it's turned a little bit to the left. Let's see what this side looks like. Still turned a little bit right. Whew, that felt like a lot. It was. So as far as setting this goes, this is really going to be purely by eye. I've got the wheel centered in the truck. So I'm just gonna put it in there right now. The wheels are eyeballed straight. Like I said, the wheel in the truck is straight, so I'm gonna put it together just like it is. I'll adjust the drag link to where the bolts will go in, and that's gonna be it for now until I can actually get it to a lineup shop where they can actually align it and get it a little bit better off. So okay, so now what I've actually got to do is, this has got to lift up here. Well, crap. I tightened up my jam nuts by hand like a big ass dummy, and now they're too snug for me to move my damn bar around like I need to. Golly. Can nothing ever just be easy? Go like it's supposed to. There we go. There. Okay. Okay. So now the question is, yeah, I think I like the bolt coming down from the top. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay, so that's pretty close right there. So, like I said, it's just eyeballed in place. So all I've got to do to adjust that is just turn my bar right here. That's not that big of a deal. So next thing I got to do is just lock all this stuff down, and then it'll be time to install some brakes and just figure out if I want to do that with it up on the lift or let it down. So I'm going to snug all this up, figure that out, and we'll be back. All right, well, there you go. So got the front end all pieced together finally. Now I will tell you, there is a flaw or two in my design that I am going to have to change after the fact. Y'all see that when we get to it. Nothing huge, just some small tweaks that I got to make in the steering to kind of get it where it works better. It works now, but it will work better. I just kind of overthought something real simple, but not a big deal. I've already got it figured out. You'll see that in upcoming episodes. But everything bolted together like it's supposed to, for the most part. I mean, I have my moments where I just really overthink things sometimes. And as you saw with the simple alignment that I was working on doing. But thank you for watching all the way through. If you're watching this part, you made it to the end. Thank you so much. Come back, stay tuned for more. We got a whole lot more still to do. Got to finish building this truck. So thank you for supporting the channel. If you haven't already, throw a brother a subscribe if you feel like I've given you some good content. Really appreciate it. So we'll check out in the next one.